Because remember, this Nautilus can still go in towards mid lane, and Rogue are already sort of thinking that. They're removing the Yuumi from the equation, right? They have a Tahm Kench down there. They're not going to be able to punish a Yuumi very effectively, so they want to make sure that's off the board, and then also remove the Cassiopeia themselves. This is really, really interesting for me, because I actually think this is a game where you could probably run the Nautilus in mid lane. So what they're going to do is they're going to block in the set. Now, set can go top, jungle, mid support. Nautilus can go mid support. Renekton can go top lane, mid lane. So there's a lot of flexibility left here for Origen, and I'm pretty sure we've actually seen Nukeduck play that Renekton in the mid lane before.
We have.
Yes.
No, we absolutely have. And okay, so the reason I love this is like my head, dude, it just tunnels, right? I can only think so many layers, significantly fewer layers than you can, my friend. So I had already just assumed that it was MF not bot, and then, you know, you throw in all this flexibility. One of the things that Origen was praised for at the beginning of the split, draft Kingdom, draft Kings, they were incredible. Then towards the second half of the split, the meta changes and it shifts, and then we're like, draft 50-50 coin flip, we either love it or we hate it. But I really like what I'm seeing. And now on the other side, the Irelia's locked in, which also means the Ornn and the Aurelia could swap as well, couldn't they?
They could, in theory. We'll wait on that, because of course, like, Finn is like the acclaimed Aurelia player here, so could rock that in top lane. So Origen have gotten what they want. They wanted to put Inspired on Sejuani. This was a run back of the second game's draft where they banned second phase Olaf and Jarvan, and Inspired's fallback was the Sejuani. So now it is going to be the Set in the jungle, of course, with a LeBlanc in the mid lane. So Set's the only like odd man out here, which ends up being pretty expected at the end of the day, of course. And when you're looking at it, Origen probably aren't going to flex Renekton into mid lane. Like, Alfari has just loved Renekton so far this, but like, they're always first picking this champion for him. So it's going to be pretty standard when all is said and done here. But I am concerned about the Sejuani pick, about the Ornn pick, because now that there's a LeBlanc in the equation, it's really hard to lock her down with this more predictable CC that has a long travel time, when usually that's your big strength. Against a LeBlanc and against a Cleanse MF, that's going to be much harder to lock down.
Yeah, absolutely the case. And now we get to see what Larssen can do on another stylistically different pick, right? Game 1 and 2, game played around mid lane. Nukeduck and Larssen not really hugely involved. Game 3, slightly different story. Nukeduck's Azir, game-changing Emperor's Divides in the team fights. And despite attempts from Larssen's Echo, he just really wasn't set up for success. The timing of the engages, the locations of the engages, the amount of information for the engages. Let's see what Rogue can do. Their backs are against the wall as they're taking on Origen. And welcome back to, as I've already mentioned, what could be the last game of the day. We ended the draft talking about the slipperiness of Nukeduck's LeBlanc. I am personally excited because I think I said at the beginning of game 1, Ender, that I want to see Nukeduck on playmakers. I want to see him on champions that he can outshine. And I really like the fact that he's on a LeBlanc now. Xerxes Set also was very exciting when he ran it in game 2, I think it was.
It was 2,
and now when you combine Set plus Renekton, Set plus Nukeduck, I think a lot of people are going to be able to dunk on enemies.
Yeah, you got some fun stuff for sure in this game, and I'm already looking at like the summoner spell choice for Nukeduck in mid. It's not a teleport, which is standard. It's an ignite, which is immediately sending off alarm bells into my head. Why would a LeBlanc take an Ignite in this matchup with a Set? Wait a second, maybe we're looking to play around mid lane, because you think about it, Larssen, if he's ever going forward for minions in mid, this is something I like to talk about a lot with melee mid laners in particular, because the lane is so short. When you have a ranged mid laner, it's super hard to gank them when the lane's in a neutral state, because when they're last hitting, they're 550 units away from those minions. When you have a melee mid laner, you have to really extend to get those last hits, which makes mid lane gankable. Now with a set in the jungle, I don't think it's super likely, but LeBlanc has a lot of setup CC, and post level 6 with Predator boots, Xerxes can certainly point and click on anyone on the map, and I can't see why Aurelia would be any different.
Okay, so just as I started talking about LeBlanc, and I've been very excited by it, Upset takes a lot of damage. He gets exhausted, actually, as Destiny caught the Dredge line. As you all know, we've got a fantastic stats team behind the LEC production squad, and they're working with us as well. I got a note on my chat saying, hey, Trev, I know you're hyped about LeBlanc, but hashtag warning. NukeDuck is 6 wins and 16 losses all time on LeBlanc. So he's like, I know you're excited, but the stats maybe say otherwise. So let's see if he can add an additional win to that column, because that is not a particularly strong win-loss.
No, that's not here for Mr. NukeDuck. And honestly, there's not a ton of great targets for the LeBlanc to hit later on in this game, which is why when we get into the team fights, it's going to be all jump on Hansama for Origen. That's the idea. Last game, it was Alfari. He was doing it pretty much solo. Sometimes Xerxes would get involved. In this game, LeBlanc's mission in life is going to be to get Vander to pop his Devour, because the second he pops his Devour and then Hansama comes out of it, that is when an Alfari flank can come in, Xerxes can pick up a frontliner and dunk him straight into Hansama's back. Like, that's the type of play that they need to pull off, and it really is just as simple as distorting forward, dropping a QR combo down onto Hans, and forcing Vander rather try and soak up all that burst damage.
Yeah, then you just let Renekton, Set, Bullet Time do all the rest of it, right? And jump forward. I mean, okay, let's take a
quick
look at what
pause,
happens on
Trevor.
this
Here's
game.
the dive.
Yes.
So this is what I talked about in game 2.
Yep.
Is diving with Set jungle is super good because of your W, and also because the enemy top laner can't run away. Now Finn smartly just upgraded the Ruby Sapphire, so that's 180 extra HP. Let's see if he can dodge the game.
Very good knock-up. That's going to allow 2 tower shots onto Xerxes. He manages to go Super Saiyan and spite some melee, but he gets the teleport out of Larson. That is still a win in the Origin book.
It's a big win right there, too. You know, you get the TP out. Now, I think Finn will probably teleport in towards mid lane to soak up that minion wave. That should come through now. He's just waiting for his mana bar to come back up. No, he's actually going to teleport into top lane. So they're just going to give up that full... I think this is a mistake from Rogue. So what they could do is they could both swap for 1 minion wave and then trade back. What ends up happening is now Finn is going to recover some EXP in the top lane and some gold off of those minions coming on in, but Larson is denied 3 melees on top of the wave that he soaked before that to go up into top lane. Now, he picked up a couple from top too, because Finn just started channeling his recall, but if you're trying to min-max there, I think Rogue could have played that better.
Oh my word, this bottom lane has just been trading all day, and Ender, I want you to explain it to me, because Xerxes just comes running in with the Predator.
Look at Hansama!
Inspired is in range. Hansama's flashed forward. He needs to get the flamethrower further. Upset in Destiny, they've managed to put range. Not going to be enough just yet. First blood picked up by Alfari, who teleports bottom. It was a melee in the bottom lane, and it started with consistent damage trading between the duos.
It's just a heartbreaker right there for Hansama.
Unbelievable.
Upset in Destiny were just a sliver of HP away from going down, and he was 1v2ing that. Let's be honest, Vander was running away. He was doing everything in his power to turn that play around, because there was no escape once the teleport started coming in. Now this, in all honesty, is a pretty good read from Inspired to be down here at to try and counter-attack this gank coming in from Xerxes. But the TP mismatch, because Finn teleported back into top lane, he could not respond down towards bot side. Hansama had to run forward to keep his teammates alive, was just hoping for a kill, and it did not work out in the end.
It really didn't. So Origin get first blood. They're not done yet.
No.
I mean, Destiny and Xerxes are now looking for a
They're
play.
one and the same now.
Yeah, it's just my brain just like combined them. But I'm going to wait to see if we get a moment. I just want to remind everybody, we've not really hit it too hard, but this is still an elimination game. This is a gauntlet, of course, in the lower bracket. Misfits were eliminated by Rogue, and Rogue are again in a do-or-die match. If they lose this game, they go done. Of course, because of their seeding from the regular season, they get placed into the lower bracket of our playoffs. And holy moly, even if you win the series, you are set up with a showdown against G2 Esports on Sunday for the final position on the finals weekend. Now, Ender, I want you to add onto that in a moment, because as it stands, Larson is going to get jumped on. Dredgeline will catch him and pull him backwards, and with the combination from Nukeduck plus the Ignite, it will be a kill, but it's traded 1-for-1. And again, let's touch on the fact that OG, they weren't even meant to play today.
Sure, that's the crazy thing, because, like, say what you about Rogue, right? Their backs are against the wall. They don't have the luxury of double elimination, but they finished, you know, they just squeezed their way into playoffs right at the end right there. OG finished in 3rd place, and they said, hey, if all goes according to plan, Mad Lions lose. We only have to play 1 best-of-5 this weekend. And then you play against Mad Lions, and that's not too bad, right? But everything did not go according to plan because G2 ended up losing that series because they were the higher seed. G2 was the squad that got the bye. So now OG had to come into this week not only playing G2 on Sunday, assuming they win this game, but also this series against Rogue, making prepping for these series much more difficult. Like, how do you spend your time? Do you split it between the 2 teams? Do you all in on Rogue and then hope for the best against G2? Do you all in on G2 and hope for the best against Rogue? Like, there's no really good answer right there. So because everything, you know, broke down in that manner, OG came in and had to, you know, put up a strong performance today just to get to face down G2.
Just to earn the right to face the defending champions. And right now, the Infernal Drake is going to get easily secured here. Xerxes, he did pop the Predator, won't find a target.
Look at top lane, though.
You talked about the prep, Ender. We've already praised Xerxes for reading Inspired. Now Alfari is looking to dunk down on Finn. He's got himself the Bilgewater Cutlass already. He threw down the Dominus, and he's farming between the towers again. Proxy farming, as you will. Dirty farming, depending on your preference of terminology. But while that's happening, now Xerxes is looking for another opportunity. He's got the Showstopper available to him. He can flash Showstopper, flash Suplex, decides against it. As Hansama was backing away, had himself the Flamethrower out, and manages to push OG away.
All right, so now it's past 8 minutes, and the Dragon is down. I think they're just going to ult that wave, right? Upset just cleared that one away, and now swap in towards the Herald, using that ultimate to buy themselves a lot of time up here. That's why Inspired is actually running on over here and trying to start this one up. It's trying to sneak it away from Origen before this rotation comes on through. And because it's a I was about to say because it's Tom Kench, they can actually pour it up in there, but it's a level 5 Tom Kench. This play is a little bit more risky. You can see Inspired not feeling super confident, is pulling the Herald way towards his team to try and make this one actually work out.
Destiny's trying to get this quickly as he can. He does manage to get the vision from the Scryer's Bloom, and with Upset using that strut movement speed advantage, will be able to get up. All right, so Rift Herald does not go down. Origen, 2 kills to 1. They're 1,000 gold up, but they did concede the Infernal Drake. It is a Cloud spawning in 3.5 minutes. And when we look at this duo in this top lane matchup, slightly sort of meta question for you, Ender. Hansama and Vander, as a 2v2, how do you feel they've performed today against Upset and Destiny as far as the 2v2 is concerned? Because this laning phase kind of went Hansama and Vander's way until jungle intervention.
Yeah, so this laning phase, like Hansama obviously got a big CS lead off that play as mid lane Nukeduck, the slippery man, is able to get on out of there and goes back in for a little BM auto attack. You'll love to see it. I believe you did ask a serious question before that play happened, though, even though it deserved its time to lie. It was how like Hansama and Vander have actually fared in this 2 versus 2, and honestly, I think they've done a pretty good job. I would say I do not feel the 2v2 has decided this match really at all. It has been about junglers, it has been about top laners, and when bot lane has swung one way or the other, it's come down to like TPs into the bottom lane from Finn, like you remember that game 1 play that was really sweet, or junglers getting down there. And that's where I would say OG have the edge, because they have managed their minion waves better to set up for Xerxes ganks. Not just in this game, but in the last game as well. You remember one of those big kills came down from Xerxes getting in there, game 2 as well. So it hasn't been about anything about mechanics or anything like that. It really does just boil down to the fact that OG have controlled their lane states better than Hansama and Vander in the 2v2.
One interesting trend that I have noticed, historically Origen had been a team that had conceded dragons in favor of Rift Heralds. All split long, that had been a decision-making priority or a decision-making tree that they had followed and abided by. But Rogue have had the better of them as far as the Rift Heralds are concerned this series. Admittedly, OG have been in positions where it hasn't impacted them hugely. You can see they've got a gold lead. So even if Shelly comes down and pops a few plates, it'll even the game out. But comparatively, it's a little different to what we've seen in the past. Finn Finn, Flash is available to him. He's already used the Unstoppable. Call of the Forge Guard comes down. By some time, Xerxes slam dunk, I think, was interrupted by the Bellows Breath. And that means that Finn takes a few extra seconds to go down before Vander arrives.
Like, Xerxes was trying to, like, pull its Excalibur out of the stone right there. Just went flying. Finn was sitting there. He's just a rock, man. Wasn't going to go anywhere. They
Was
still
it the Bellows Breath? Was it the Bellows Breath timing for the showstopper? That
So
literally just interrupted it.
So Xerxes was going to hold on to his ultimate, but then Alphari landed the stun on Finn, so he's like, oh, wait, I have the window where I can press R. But as he's in animation, Finn comes out of the CC and just presses W, so it was a bit unfortunate, but this is a sweet repeat play.
No.
Oh, Hansama, you're way too far forward, buddy.
Is this going to work?
Alphari's an alcove gamer.
Is this going to work? This is the best alcove play I've seen. Oh, no. No. That's my fault. Sorry, Alphari. I cast a curse to you. Nevertheless, the setup was great. Hansama had the support from the rest of the team, and Finn's teleport definitely helps out.
I love this. Look at Upset go.
Yeah,
just land the
definitely.
chains.
Bullet time should be just about enough. Not available. Upset is going to pick up the kill and flash to safety. He's definitely playing to win the series and set up a showdown with G2.
Trev, what happened to Origen? This is not the Origen I know. Games 2, 3, and 4 have just been a very different way for this team. And I love kind of everything I'm seeing, or at least the majority of it here, as they look for yet another play inside of this river with 5 members around.
I mean, that sends a huge message. When you see Upset after he's pushed the wave, roam to back up Nuke Duck, and go for the tower dive on a ganking Misfortune without an ultimate, it's a glimpse into the mentality and the mindset of the bot laner. And also when you look at the draft, I kind of made a bit of a joke about it in the previous game, but we have seen 26 unique champions played in these 4 games. That's the same amount that Rogue and Misfits had, and 3 more unique champions than OG versus Fnatic. A lot has changed. The priority on Ornn, the decision-making that Origen had when they played Fnatic, could not be more different to what we are seeing today. And what this means to me is OG are adapting, they're changing a little, and it adds some question marks to what potentially will happen on Sunday. Regardless of who wins here, G2 are going to have a lot of information to digest to figure out how do they approach their opponent on Sunday's BO5.
Right, and obviously they still need to get through this game first.
Yes.
And people will come out of this game and be like, oh, like Origen, like not that much has changed, right? They're still the same old Origen. It's just the quality of opponents is different, right? And you can make that statement when it's Rogue compared to Fnatic. But the fact is, they are playing differently. Don't look at the scoreboard, don't look at the teams, look at how they are moving on the map. And Origen are playing very smart, very controlled League of Legends. Like, Alphari smurfing down here on towards Finn. It's a very, very good matchup, but this pressure now in bottom lane, in top lane now with Nuke Duck as well with a big CS lead there too. They're going to keep pushing down towards Rogue further and further, and you expect to see them balloon this gold lead. That mid game that Origen maybe haven't been super great at taking a lead and pushing it further in the past, that has not been an issue for them today in the games where they get early leads.
Completely agree. Completely. And Alphari on this Renekton 101. Blade of the Ruined King completed. Another 47 CS. Correction, 42 CS until his Cull will also proc. It's helping OG get this 2,500 gold lead. They've evened out the tower score. And despite the fact that I personally have memed the Renekton a little bit, I think you cannot deny the pressure that Renekton applies in-game during a laning phase. Regardless of the performance, regardless of the scoreline, when a Renekton is in a game, the players have to consider and evaluate what can it do. And right now, Alphari is showing a pretty good showing. Keeping in mind the tower dive from Xerxes top, despite it being outplayed, there's been plays around Alphari, and right now, Rogue are being pinched in. Ledgeline will find the target. Hansama gets dunked on. The Devour comes out from Vander. That buys a lot of time. Enough time for Lost to come out. The Flawless Duet gets a 2 or a 3-man stun. And Inspired will get taken out.
Thank you very much, says Nuke Duck, for that kill. Able to pick that one up easy peasy right there. That was a really good position for OG to look for a fight inside of that tight corridor with all the AoEs. You saw Xerxes again picking up Inspired, throwing him down onto Hansama in the back line with the ultimate from Destiny 2 coming on in there. Those are the types of plays Origen are going to continue to try and run in these skirmishes and in these fights the later we move in.
What I also really like, Upset's Misfortune, Essence Reaver 202. He's moving himself around the map, right place, right time. I even love the fact that Scryer's Bloom gives complete and utter vision, just before the fight starts.
I mean, they just got pincered right there. Rogue thought they were going over towards Larson. Little did they know Xerxes was sitting right there to be able to find that collapse, and it's very hard to run away from this team. Lots of slows, lots of CC. Someone's going to have to die, and that's going to be Larson there taking one for the team.
4,500 gold. Bounties on Alfari, Nuke Duck, and Upset. You cannot ask for a better setup if you're an Origen fan. And now Rogue, they will get themselves some time on the second Rift Herald. But Origen are around and they may want to contest. Bullet time is up for Upset. And this Herald is going down fairly slowly. Nuke Duck's around as well. There's a flank from Xerxes. He's popped the Predator. He's looking for an engage. There's no showstopper to stop the show for Rogue. And the Herald will finally be secured. Now, pickup is done. And I'm waiting for the engage. Destiny's
Look at
ultimate,
Alfari on the bottom.
And Destiny's ultimate is just about to come available. Dominus as well. They need a few more seconds. Waiting for the go. The bullet time destroys Rogue. It is time to go home as Rogue have lost 4 members. Finn is the only one standing. That was a team fight of beauty.
Absolutely. That's the difference between thinking you're going to win a team fight and knowing you're going to win a team fight. Rogue thought they could win. Hansama was stepping forward, trying to put down some auto attacks on towards Xerxes. OG were smashing them as Alfari able to pick up the kill, able to flash away from there. Finn will go down, saving his tower, but another kill going the way of Origen, and now a TP to boot.
That was a really valiant effort from Finn, though. Will it have set up a kill for Lawson? No. Lawson's going hunting. I don't think he knows
he's baiting him.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know. The stun comes in. Alfari's going to dance and dash around. Vanguard's edge by some time. But it's Alfari that gets another. Come on. A new champion appears. Let's find out how effective he is. Inspired is chasing Xerxes.
Just quit.
In Trumpil. Oh. And it is not super effective. Inspired will not be able to set anything up as Destiny uses the dredge line to safety. Now Upset, he starts to back away. Moonlight Vigil comes down. Destiny stays alive. Finn face plants into the wall. That's a Devour as Vander brings up Hansama and spits him to safety. Rogue are throwing themselves into the meat grinder, and Origen are eating them alive.
Oh no, Rogue are getting restless right here. They're just throwing everything and trying to get a kill, but all they end up doing is feeding more and more over into the waiting arms of Origen. That's now 8,000 gold here, completely blown open. That's the mid-game we've been wanting to see from Origen. They pick the right fights, and once again, it is coming off of these beautiful flanks from Alfari. He is finding a way into every single fight that makes Rogue have no reasonable way to escape.
14 stacks on Nuke Duck's Medjai's. 405. Upset. 405 on his Misfortune. I don't know how much gold he has in his pocket. If our observers could flick over, let's see how much he's going to spend. Oh, he's already spent it. Thank you. Missed that one. 205 for Alfari's Renekton. They picked themselves up the Mountain Drake a few moments ago. The Cloud was mistakenly on the wrong side. We have obviously rectified that. It's Cloud and Mountain on the side of Origen. 6,500, 7,000 gold advantage. They're on match point. They're 12 kills to 1 with a hella fed. That is the technical term. A hella fed LeBlanc. And right now, Origen are looking like they want to close the series out 3-1.
Yeah, and I mean, Rogue know what's happening to them as well, right? You don't see these sort of desperate plays unless you know you're just miles behind your opposition. Because once again, Nuke Duck is going in and maybe they find the turn.
Really nice distortion. None of the call. The Forge God doesn't land at all. 2 more kills for OG. Nuke Duck goes down, and the only solace that Rogue can take is dropping his Medjai stacks in half. That's it. That's the biggest celebration, and maybe a little bit of gold from the shutdown. 2 kills to 14, 8,000 gold lead, and OG aren't done yet.
Oh, I can't believe it. Finn actually missed the punchback on the Forge God right there. They end up losing another team fight, and like Rogue, what do they do at this point? This team, they have to be trying to fight. You know, they came into the season with so many expectations,
yes.
I feel, right? After, you know, upsetting Splice last year in the best of 5s, people thought they could make it to Worlds. They didn't do that, but they made upgrades to their roster. I just...
Oh.
Now you're looking at a situation, right, where your backs are against the wall, the enemy team is up 2-1 in the series, and now you're down almost 10,000 gold, and you're missing Ornn ultimates. That has to be devastating to your mentality.
But it tells you so much about their mentality, and Rogue was supposed to be the 4th best team. If you go back to pre-Spring Split expectations, looking at the roster, looking at the organization, looking at development last year, then Misfits and Mad Lions, honestly, come out of nowhere, right? They surprised a lot of people. Mad Lions surprised so many people, they eliminated G2 from the upper bracket last weekend. And Rogue were watching, maybe envious. The Mad Lions story was supposed to be Rogue's. And now Rogue are on the brink of being eliminated by Origen. They have put up a fight, but they have been mostly outclassed this series. And unfortunately, when you see those mistakes, like the Ornn ultimate, albeit, look, the team's down 8-9k. That's not the reason they're going to lose the game in the series, but it's a glimpse into what level of pressure these players are under.
And while Rogue feel completely helpless right now, just trying to put the pieces together of this puzzle of how to actually come back, there's a walk in the park for Origen. There's absolutely no pressure on them. They're up a series. They're winning by a mile in this game. Full control over the map currently. It's up to Rogue to just keep trying to force plays, throw themselves into Origen, and all Origen have to do is catch that toss straight on in and punch them right back in the teeth.
Right, so let's see how they finish the game out. 4 towers secured, Ender. There's a Mountain Drake in a minute and a half. They've got a Baron to play. Oh, just kill Rogue.
Go.
That's the plan. 4 members of Rogue are stuck inside the jungle as Hans Summer's now backing away into the lane. Moonlight Vigil, I don't think, does absolutely anything, and Inspired is already down. The Glacial Prison did not matter at all. Alfari takes a trip to the side, and I think they're going to go hunting again here, and there's the depth charge from Destiny.
Look at the Alfari flank again.
Vander. Vanguard's Edge doesn't even find a target. Finn connects with Call of the Forge. God, he's forced. Upset away. Hans Summer stays alive, but I don't think it matters at all. Larson is surrounded by 3 members as Alfari 3-0-6. Blade of the Rune King, Black Cleaver, BF Sword is destroying Rogue. And Finn is just trying to do something. He's hunting himself a diver. And Destiny, even with a little bit of time to dance and taunt, Finn will be the next target.
Yeah, Finn is now stuck in the middle of 5 members of Origen, tries to run towards upset, and Alfari's going to flash forward. They just want blood, they want kills, and they want Finn. Finn with his 3rd death of the game. Now Origen take yet another before recalling in Silent Inspired. Hey, he doesn't know if they're on the Baron or not. He's going to jump into the meat grinder now too.
Do you know here in Germany they eat a lot of wild boar, and I think Origen have taken a liking to the flavor. Hans Summer manages to pick up a kill onto Nukeduck. How? Honestly, I'm not even sure, but again, it's reset the stacks. By the way, Nukeduck got up to 16, Medjai's died, dropped to 8. He went up to 16, died, now he's back down to 8. This is the minigame.
No, they're all in the bush, aren't they? Hans Summer!
He's going to survive for now. Devour spits him back out. Oh, the chakrams do a lot. Larson's managed to arrive. The Vigil will be able to find at least a single route. Upsets come in to arrive at the party. Bullet time. 1, 2, 3 members are being rat-a-tat-tatted by that bullet time as Finn's teleport brings him right into the fray despite getting a 3-man knockup. His AD carry is dead. His mid laner is run for his life. And Rogue have conceded 20 deaths in 25 minutes. Origen can decide how they want to play this game out, but they are poised to win. And it actually...
Not again! Not again! Please, not again! They can't keep getting away with this!
No, you absolutely cannot.
They can't keep getting away with this, Trevor.
There is a lot that will need to be unpacked. There is a lot of decision-making. Like, Ender, you said at the beginning of this game, it was decision-making in Game 3 that cost Rogue. The draft was fine, right? They could have made it work, but they picked bad fights. And now, when they are more desperate than they have been all year long, with no more room for error, there are unfortunately too many errors.
Yeah, I mean, Origen, like, hasn't been awarded the river for the last 8 minutes. That's why Inspired keeps running in. It's because he thinks Origen are on Baron, but they're never on Baron. They're just waiting. They're just looking for more and more picks here, so... Continue to blow up that advantage even more. Now it will be the next Mountain Drake of the game for Origen. Rogue taking this time to get vision, but it's a long way to go.
I'd like to play one last mini game with you, Ender, and it is a slightly positive, uplifting one. Will Nukeduck hit 20 stacks? Give me a yes or no.
Yes.
Let's find out.
He's going to hit 25 stacks after this fight, Trevor.
Oh, let's find out. Vander Does get caught by the dredge line. Alfari has come in from behind. Baron is going so low. We'll find out who's going to win the Smite fight. Nuke and Upset have arrived. Bullet time is available. It's going into the pit. That's Inspired dead. Rogue dead. Bullet time picks up Baron dead. Rogue are done, and Rogue will be eliminated by Origen in the second round of playoffs. Hans Sama is putting as much damage down as he can.
Here comes Xerxes, though.
And Xerxes sneaks in from behind, hits him with the haymaker, and Nuke Duck sends a sigil of malice into his face. 25 kills, 22 stacks secured. I wanted to know if he hit 20. Ender said he hit 25. I think you're close to right, my friend. But as it stands, Origen with Baron, can they end? I think that they can.
So they have Baron buff. It's probably going to be 2 inhibitors here. We're still only 27 minutes of the game, so the death timers are short. They're not even going to stick around for the first inhibitor. I honestly, Origen are playing with their food. They just want more kills. They just want more kills.
Your team's not there. It's a Tom Kench arriving with no support. Nobody was in his belly. Inspired jumps in, uses his ultimate. It does nothing. Lawson is down, and Rogue are
and Alfari's on the flank again.
Rogue are defeated.
Unbelievable. Still charging on forward there. OG coming around on the flank with a suplex to snipe out Inspired in the back line. Dive into the backside as well as Finn gets deleted from Summoner's Rift. Origen are going to be able to walk in for the rest of the victory to finish off the game, to finish off the series, and to go up against G2 on Sunday.
There's no doubt about it. Origen with a better team today, defeating Rogue 3-1. I think I can forgive